That's really, really good. Hi everyone, it's always a perfect time to be a gourmet on a budget. Here you can learn to prepare excellent meals in your very own kitchen, even as you might also get a deeper insight into the unique significance of a particular ingredient or aspect of the cooking process. Chef Martin Kaspar of Montrecote will show us today how to make the classic and authentic beef stroganoff with pilaf rice on the side.
Yes, Johnny. Beef stroganoff is a Russian dish that was about invented in the 19th century by a French chef who had actually worked for a family in St. Petersburg. It was his entry in a cooking competition in 1891, if I'm not mistaken, and he won. And he named the prize after the employer, and his name was Pavel Alexandrovich Stroganoff. Nice story,
really
no?
interesting.
It's a nice story, actually.
Yeah, that's a really nice story.
Yeah.
And perfect, because today is all about stories as well. Our Bible scholar, Father Joel Kamaya, is also here with us. He'll zero in on the meat as it appears and is treated in the good book, with particular emphasis on explaining and what kosher means.
Yes, Johnny. Kosher foods are those foods that conform to or comply with the Jewish dietary regulations. It's also called, in Hebrew, kashrut. And primarily it's derived from Leviticus and Deuteronomy. And as a matter of fact, such foods are then called kasher, or the meaning is fit. But I have more to tell you about kosher meats to qualify as kosher. For example, mammals must have split hooves and then chew their cud. For example, the goat or the sheep, they chew the cud and then they have divided hooves. Of course, oxen, the cows, they also fall into that. Horses, they chew their cud, but their hooves are divided. The pigs, their hooves are divided, but they do not chew their cud. So these are not kosher. Okay. Now, with regard to fish, they must have fins, and then the scales should be removable. And then about birds, there are only certain birds that could be considered kosher, essentially the non-predatory birds. So chicken is, you can eat that.
Oh, that's so interesting. So, Chef, is beef stroganoff a stew or a soup? Because I mix it up with goulash.
It's actually a sauce which we add beef inside. You can add chicken inside, you can add anything, but it's actually a saucy dish. And you serve it together with noodles, potatoes, or what we're gonna do today is a pilaf rice. It's gonna be nice. So, okay. So let's actually start. So
Right.
the pilaf rice will have 15 minutes in the oven. This dish is actually quite a fast dish to do if we have everything prepared. Just to show you quick what we have in ingredients, we have rice, just long grown rice, normal rice. We have some onions, which we need for the rice. We have a little bit butter. Then we have chicken stock and a pot. And then for the stroganoff, we have paprika. I'll come back to that later. We have beef, mushroom, garlic. We have a little bit beef broth. We have cream and some sour cream to top it off. And not to forget, today it's going to be nice actually. We're going to flame the stroganoff, the beef. Once it's seared, we're going to flame it with a little bit cognac and add some other beautiful stuff. So let me start with the pilaf rice. So we have rice, normal long grain grind. We have onions, which we're going to chop a little bit nicely fine. We want to have it fine, not too thick. Want to be nicely even. So we need some onions for our stroganoff, and we need some onions for our pilaf rice. So a pilaf rice, what is a pilaf rice? A pilaf rice is actually a flavored rice with chicken stock. It's maybe similar to the Hainanese rice, but what we're gonna do with the rice, we first sauté the rice. We first actually sauté the onions, make it transparent, add the rice, deglaze it with the stock, and then put it in the oven.
Father Joel, what's the difference between kosher and halal?
As observed by the Jews, kosher is a Hebrew word meaning, as I said a while ago, fit or proper. Now, the Muslims, they have that word also, but it's halal. It's used by the Muslims to mean that food is permissible. So you see, for the Jews, fit, for the Muslims, permissible. And halal meat is reared and slaughtered differently from conventional meat. Like kosher food, halal food is guided by religious criteria. And they govern everything from how the animals destined to be eaten are fed and raised, and then to how they are slaughtered and prepared for consumption. And both halal and kosher allow meat and dairy, but kosher specifically prohibits combining both. So it's forbidden to have cheeseburger.
That's true.
Because meat and dairy products
yeah,
together.
That's
And if you would eat meat, you would have, it depends on the rabbi, you would have to wait for some time before you are able to take ice cream, for example.
That's correct, yes. They also have different kitchens. They have the dairy
Yes.
kitchen and they have the meat kitchen, which is very, very important. So my onions are transparent, and now I add my rice. The pilaf rice will take 15 minutes, and the stroganoff itself also takes about 15 minutes. So it's
And
important.
then you'll do that together. So
Yeah, so basically, once I put the rice in the oven, it'll take me 15 minutes with the other beef if everything is ready, so that goes pretty fast. So as you see, the rice is now also a little bit transparent, and now I deglaze it with chicken stock. Now, the ratio here is about the same. It's one cup of rice, 2 cups of liquid, so but more or less that's gonna be. So, boiling. So once it's boiled, I add this here in my pan inside. Here I add actually a little bit thyme, just for some flavors. A pilaf rice is, like I said, like a Hainanese rice. So it's actually what we do differently as to wash the rice. We sauté the rice with a little bit butter, have the onions, and then we deglaze it. And then we cook it with chicken broth.
Okay.
So chicken broth is just adds a nice new flavor to the rice. So it's flavoring the rice,
that
right?
sounds very flavorful.
Like
It's
when
like
you-
all of the
Yeah.
juices are in the rice. and
Here we have
cooking
this.
it with the broth.
It's a
Yes.
departure from our usual rice that we just,
That's just boiled.
steam it, boil it.
Exactly. So now we're gonna put this in the oven. We place it in the oven for about 15 minutes, 160, 170 degrees.
Because usually we're used to either just white rice or fried rice.
Right.
So I'm excited to try this, to have all the flavors in it. So, chef, how much would a dish like this cost? The whole for 2 people?
It always depends a little bit on the beef. If you buy a local beef, it's certainly be a little bit cheaper. But of course, if you go to export quality, you can go to 1,000, 1,005. It's really the quality
really
of the
big
yes,
discrepancy.
because of the quality of the beef, right? So here we use beef tenderloin, which we have from Australia. So it's a tenderloin. The tenderloin is actually, that's the part in the beef which is the most laziest. Doesn't do anything, just lies there for us to eat. And it's the most tender part because it has not much muscle inside,
yeah.
and it's very lean. So it's a beautiful tender part. So we take the beef and we cut cubes. You can see already the color, right? It's nice, beautiful color, which is nice. So just cut cubes out of it. So also kosher meat, what I learned in Israel, because they don't have enough beef, which is stabbed by the blood, what they do is when the beef comes, to make it kosher, they actually put salt on it. So they put salt on it and let it leave for 12 hours so that the blood can come out of the meat. And then the next day, what you do, you take that and you wash the salt away, and then you do whatever you want. The thing there is you cannot add any more salt
I guess that's already
because the meat is already salted. No? So, and then on Shabbat we were not allowed to work. You're not allowed to
Yeah.
cook on Shabbat. So that's another thing. So there was a lot of new restriction which I had to learn. No. So we have this meat. Put this here inside. Voila. But first of all, we heat our pan.
Okay.
So this is very important that the pan has to be really searing hot. We add later on oil and it has to smoke so that we know that there is heat. So we can nicely sear all the sides, that inside it stays nicely juicy and medium rare or medium the way we like it. So when you add salt to your meat, don't add salt too early. If you add it too early, you drain the blood out. Two tablespoons oil. And then later on, after searing, we will flame it with some cognac, which is going to be nice. Cognac or brandy or any liqueur, yeah. We need a little bit garlic.
That's so amazing.
You have to learn that.
Yeah, that comes with age, no? That comes with...
Many of us couldn't do that without a machine.
I was asking the chef a while ago, how long does it take for you to prepare everything? And he said 15 minutes. It'll take me 15 minutes to do that.
So now it's really important we make this hot. We use also actually olive oil. I could use another oil as well.
Okay.
I use now a little bit normal olive oil. You place it inside, and what is important is you don't touch it. So you leave it, sear it.
Smells very good.
It's like you make salty pao, or when you make beef tips. No, that's the thing you want to do, right? This piece of meat is actually beautiful also for a steak, right? If you want to make a steak, you don't cut it, you make it as a steak.
What's interesting is you just use these two seasonings, okay? Salt and pepper. Yeah. And that's the magic, no? That's how you prepare it.
I think you can use a lot of flavors, but end of the day, salt and pepper is actually nice. So as you can see, now it's nicely seared. And then we take some cognac.
Okay. Wow.
And we flame it. So that gives us a nice flavor. It also will caramelize a little bit the meat.
Why is that so big?
And if you stay, yeah,
What do you call this process of doing that?
deglazing.
Deglazing.
Deglaze it. And then we take it out because we don't want to boil it. Very important, we don't want to boil it. Just take it out,
You can
leave
smell
it
the
spread,
liquor, yeah.
up
Yeah.
together, and that's it. And then here we have all the flavors inside, no, which is very important. So here we add now onions and the garlic. Onions and garlic. Then we add a dash of butter. Voila. So we just sweat them as well till they're a little bit transparent, nicely transparent, and then we add our mushroom. So I have here a little bit mushroom, some bottom mushroom, I have shiitake mushroom. We can use actually any kinds of mushroom. If you can buy it fresh, right? So then we add a little bit salt. We add some pepper. And now we're gonna dust this with paprika. So paprika as well, there are many different kinds of paprika. Here we have nicely 2 spoonsful.
What is paprika? Where does it come from? I don't think I ever... Like, what does it look like?
Paprika is a spice made with from peppers, which are dried and then pureed. So here, and then you add a little bit white wine.
It smells good.
Wow.
So once we have this now, then we add our beef broth. So I have a little bit beef broth. We'll add this in.
I'm so excited.
Voila. Then we take cream. Any kind of cream is okay. Fresh cream. We add this. We will use later on a little bit sour cream for the top as a garnish.
So the flames a while ago was to remove the alcohol content from
Yes,
the food.
correct.
And just to retain the flavor, right?
That's correct. Yeah. So then, taste that.
Let's blow it.
Then we season it, whatever, you can adjust your seasoning according to your taste. So, take the rice out. So, open this up and we'll see if that rice is cooked.
Wow.
As you can see, it's beautifully
Oh
cooked.
my goodness, it smells so good.
And you can, smell it already. So we'll take a fork, take a little bit butter, then we remove the thyme. It did its job, it gave us a little bit flavor, so thank you very much. Then we nicely mix that that up.
It's so fluffy.
Yeah.
Steaming hot.
Yeah.
So, for our plating, so it starts to boil, then we take the meat and we add the meat inside.
And then how long do we do that for? Just very, very fast.
Just to boil it up, because the meat is already seared, so we don't really want to boil it. Then take some of the rice. Voila. Here we put a little bit in the middle. Voila. The other side. Okay, now that one we're ready, just.
So the thyme still has its function.
Then,
I'm gonna move here.
so like I said, you could use any different kinds of mushroom. Why not? Once in a while, upgrade to something a little bit different. So,
Wow.
and then we do take a little bit sour cream. And we add a little bit here. And over here. Paprika. And then you have
So good.
then you have
Last
stroganoff.
detail.
A beef stroganoff with pilaf rice.
Wow.
How
That
it
was-
goes.
Well, there you have it. Another affordable gourmet dish courtesy of Chef Martin Kaspar, and a deeper understanding of the significance of meat and the hustle and bustle or home life of the millennial workforce from Father Joel. You can download the recipe on our website, do subscribe, like us on Facebook, and check our Instagram teaser stories. You've been watching
Gourmet on a budget.
And the difference is divine. God bless you all. So the best part.
Gio.
Okay. Let's
go.
have also a little bit.
Cognac?
Right?
Okay, thank you.
You are allowed to drink cognac?
Yes! Or is that?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Please.
Okay, let's dig in.
Thank you!
Thank you.
Exciting. Mmm. It's so good.
Mmm.
It's so flavorful. Mmm.
Good. Glad you like
And
it.
the rice.
Mixed with the sour cream,
Yeah, it's like
mushroom.
it's like each grain has a flavor in it. It's the best.
So as well, all the flavors are combined. They're all compressed. They're all there. Nothing is wasted somewhere else because one pan, we cook the dish in one pan. So all the flavors are there.
And I love that you can.